And welcome back to volume 2 of my Warcraft story. Yes, I've got a name. I know in the first episode I didn't really have a name for it or anything. I kind of thought about it on the spot and that's what I came up with. So yeah, this is basically the series, my new series, where I just talk about my Warcraft stories and certain things that have happened to me over the years. To be honest, a lot of it I can't remember, but yeah, I'm not. Excuse me, not got the greatest. Excuse me, not got the greatest memory in the world. But I'll try to remember what I can. End of last episode, we were on the Crotis, my Death Knight. Today, we're on Wichita, my Arms Warrior. We're back in IOC to do another round. We're gonna get the horse today, so that's all good. So let's do this. Right. So last time we left off, and these people start talking. Yes. Last time we left off, I was talking about the fact that I just started PvPing. I just started doing some beautiful not instant PvP. Sorry, the other one, the organic PvP. So the Taran Mill, the South Shore, etc., etc. And yeah, I kind of really started to enjoy that. I remember doing quite a lot at Taran Mill and South Shore. There's a lot of it going on, even though I was on a PvE server. Reason is, you need to go back and look at my last video, but basically what it was, my friends were on that server, so that's what I joined. Did ya? Right. Alright, let's get him down. Get away from these noisy neighbours. So today, basically where we left off, I had my hunter, leveling my hunter. I might have had him up to 60 by this point. I'm not quite sure. So he was my first level 60. And as I said last episode, I then decided to level up another hunter. But a night elf, so I got him up to about level, I think it was a level 26 or something like that. I can't remember ever leveling him much more than that. Anyway, following on from that, I then decided to level a rogue. So I started leveling a rogue and really enjoyed it. Around this time, instance PvP coming, and that for me is when this game changed. That's when this game became the game that I would end up playing for the next 15 years. Because that was it for me. I was sold. I was like, yeah, this is great. This is exactly what I want. No clue what I was doing, of course. Who did? I remember playing my hunter. Now, I'm sure if you're an old player, you remember this, because obviously PvP in those days, the instance PvP was all to a realm. You know, you had your realm, you played the alliance, you played the horde, and that's who you fought. You didn't fight anyone else many other rounds. So, and on our realm, as you can imagine, it being a PvE server, we had lots of guilds that were good at PvE, and I was fighting the alliance, for the alliance. So I remember my first ever memory was being in Warsong Gulch. I was in Warsong Gulch and I was on my hunter and I was on the roof on my hunter. And I was with this guy, and he made loads of videos, right? It was kind of an inspiration to me in lots of ways, and I'll explain why. He was really good. He was a rogue, and his name was Nair. So Nair, right? Or Nair. We used to call him Nair for some reason. So it's rain backwards anyway, that's how it's spelled. And he went on to produce loads of videos called Feel the Pain or something. Yeah, anyway, you could see him on YouTube. feel the pain now here. Old level 60 rogue. Torelion. And he was a big inspiration for me because he was a real PvPer, but also he was in the best guild on the Alliance. So there was a guild called the Last Watch in Torelion, and he was one of their rogues. And I always remember there was 3 of them. There was him, Twitty, and Rasta. Yeah. So there was 3 of them. Anyway, so he was basically, well, let's put it this way. I thought he was amazing, right? I thought, oh, you know, this is what I want to be. I want to be like this guy. Yeah. He was really good in the instance PvP, and I just thought, this is what you know when you're. I mean, obviously I was 15. It was 15 years ago, but I was thinking, oh, this is what I want to be. I want to play a rogue. He was a night elf rogue like me, and that's why I leveled one. And I'm not one of these people. I'm not really a follower in life. I tend to do my own thing. I don't really like. As I said in my last episode of this, if 9 people went one way, I would normally go the other way because what's down here, you know, what you know. I'm just one of those sort of people. I do like to do my own thing. Not the fact that I'm awkward. You know, it can be perceived as being awkward, but I just like to have my own mind. And if I don't agree with something, I won't do it. Simple as that. And so yeah, he was really good. And my first memory of PvPing was with him. So he had the flag on the roof. He was a rogue. I can't remember which sort of rogue he was. He was a night elf rogue, and I was on the roof with him, and he was saying to me, Gladelin, that was the name of my hunter, trap the entrance, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? What do you mean trap the entrance? What's that mean? And he's like, trap the entrance. I'm like, okay, but I don't know what that means. And he said, oh, throw down your traps, so if they come, you know, because I'm on top of the Alliance base, right? So throw down your traps at the entrance so they can't come through. I'm like, all right, okay. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I do remember he ended up dropping the flag. But to his credit, he didn't start going, Hunter, you're an idiot. It was an important moment for me, because then I realised I need to get better. I need to get better at this. If I want to be good at this, or average at this, which I consider myself to be very average at this game, even now, I'm going to need to put some time in and work out what the hell I'm supposed to be doing and how I do it. Okay, so then when I realised, if I want a PvP, I don't really want to play a hunter. That's what I thought. So I kind of thought, oh god, I've just, you know, in those days it took months to level, right? And I'm thinking, oh Christ, I've just leveled this hunter up, and I think I was about level 52. I might have been 60. I don't remember. I really don't remember that. It's not important anyway. So I played my rogue. Now I don't want this to come across as being big-headed. I don't want this to come across as me being up my own arse anyway. So it's really not the point I'm trying to make. My friends, as I said, played Horde. Okay, and I was playing Alliance. So, and one of my friends, he was a shaman, and he was on Horde, and I started leveling my rogue and playing my rogue in BGs, and I kind of started getting quite good at it. Now, the reason in football or soccer or NFL or basketball, I'm sure you've heard this term, confidence player. All right. If you haven't, I'll explain what it means. Confidence player is someone that needs, not continuous, but needs to feel confident in what they're doing to do the job properly, right? And I'm one of those. I need to have confidence in myself, otherwise sometimes I struggle with it. look, YouTube being an example, it took me years to do this because I didn't really have the confidence, because I thought, yeah, I could play this game pretty damn average, but you know, do I want the grief? Do I want people slagging me off? And I can honestly say, in the 4 months I've been doing this, I've not had anyone give me any crap at all. So it's been great. But yeah, I'm one of those. I'm one of these confidence players. So I kind of thought, oh, okay, I think I'm okay. I'm getting better at it. And the funny thing was that I was really into the game. So I was playing the game a hell of a lot, really hammering it on my rogue. And even then, I wanted to look good, right?
Congratulations.
Oh, who said that? Oh. Yeah, so even then I wanted to look good. So I remember I had my rogue going into PvP, and I got Claw of the Shadowmancer and the Talon of Voltros. Alright, so you got... can I look at this? Let's have a look.
Because that's no ordinary gas cloud.
Daggers. Right, hold on. Let me just put this in. Talon. Right, so the Talon of Vultures was this, right? So it had a kind of... it was like a claw, yeah? And you had that, and you had... what was it? Fang of the Shadowmancer. Just put Shadowman. Sorry about this. Just want to make my point. There it is. Claw of the Shadowmancer. Alright, so I had that. Okay. And they looked both the same. One was a rare drop off a mob in Westfall. And I think the other... I can't remember the other one. I bought it off someone. Anyway, I got this drop in Westfall off this... it was an elite, I think. And he dropped one of these daggers. And I bought the other one. So I must have had a bit of cash by that point, having a 60 and stuff. So I did used to spend a hell of a lot of time. Oh, got precious ribbon. You ever get this? If you ever get this, it drops off either precious or stinky. It's basically a shirt, right? And it's soul bound. And you equip it. And you always get this little buff then. It's got precious ribbon, best in show. Of all the times I've done this, I've only ever got this twice. I've got it on my warlock as well. And it's quite cool. So you put that on, it's equip a ribbon of affection. And you'll always have this buff whenever you're doing anything. Anyway, back to where I was. Yeah, so I had those, right? And then, now this is the coup de grace, as it were. I then I didn't press the didn't do the other thingy, did it? Release power. Yeah. Should I go and do the other one? Does it matter? Does it? I don't know. Well, let's go and do it anyway. Bit of a completionist sometimes. So yeah, I then got fiery enchants on them, right? Now this was the thing. Now this was a big turning point in my PvP career. Because I just thought, don't they look cool? So you got two daggers that look exactly the same. And obviously if you remember back then, that was quite rare to get two daggers to look the same. And I was about level... I remember doing... I think I was in the 21 to 29 bracket or 31 to 39 bracket. Something like that. Because obviously I was leveling all the time. And by this point, a lot of people had level 60s. Okay, so I had this beautiful... these two beautiful daggers. And also this these fiery enchants, right? So I just thought, oh, they look really cool. Now, my friend Az, who was a shaman on the Horde side, he was PvP'd one day. And I think by this time I was up to 40, in the late 40s or 50s or something like that. Something like that. And he was in a battleground with me, right? And this is when I knew, as I said to you, I'm not a big head at all. I'm really not that sort of person. But we were fighting this battleground, and in this battleground, managed to get, I don't know, it was in Warsaw Gulch, and I was on my road, and I managed to get like 3 or 4 flag returns. And it was one of those battlegrounds, you know, when one of those battlegrounds, everything goes right, okay? It was just like that. It was just one of those battlegrounds where everything went right for me. And in the chat, people were saying that rogue is cheating, or that rogue, look, he's got fiery enchants. He's a twink, right? Now, I had no idea what a twink was. He was, you know, blah, 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 and I remember this very, very vividly. And again, this is the God's honest truth. This happened. It was probably one of the best battlegrounds I've ever had. And in this battleground, I remember killing in succession 3 people. You could, in those days on rogues, you could do that because they were that strong. And I remember I was jumping between these 3 people, just pressing. And bear in mind, I'm clicking, right? I'm clicking the buttons. I haven't got hotkeys or anything. And for some reason, I managed to kill these 3 people. And I remember they were all standing around me trying to kill me. And I evaded on, and I just, and I killed 3 people. And probably to this day, I've not done that. Killed 3 people like that. And it was just blind luck, really, because I'll be honest, I was just pressing buttons. I had obviously the initial buttons you normally press in a normal fight, but it was just blind luck, and I killed these. And then there was like in the chat, this guy's cheating, this guy's this, he's a twink, and I didn't know what a twink was. A lot of people still don't know what a twink is. And my friend was in the game, and he said, no, he isn't. He isn't doing any of those things, and he's just a normal player because he's a mate of mine. I work with him. And they went, really? Anyway, long and short of it is that after that BG, one of these guys, not my friend, but one of these guys whispered me. He came on, because on PvE servers you could have Horde and Alliance characters. He came on and said, are you a twink? And I went, no, I don't think I am. And then I went, what's a twink? And he said, well, you've got fiery daggers and stuff like that, and you must have loads of money. And I went, no, I haven't. I really haven't, and I don't. What's a twink? And he said, well, it's like a lower level character that you spend crap loads of money on and making them really, really good and stuff. And I went, no, this is my main character now. I don't really play anything else. I went, all right. And they just said, because you were really good in that battleground. And again, as I say, I'm not being big-headed, but it was just somewhat nice for someone to say it. It happened to be a girl as well, because obviously blokes wouldn't normally turn around and say that. I said, no, I'm just a normal bloke, just playing this game, which is what I am today. So then I thought, do you know what? I could probably be quite good at this. So that gave me the confidence. This is where the confidence player thing comes into everything. I thought, you know what, I could really enjoy this. Anyway, so this carried on. So I played my rogue, and then around this time, I've talked about it quite a few times on my in my PvP games that I play. As you can see from how many characters I'm a player. I'm sort of a jack of all trades, master of none, right? I know if I probably put my heart and soul into one character, I could probably, do quite well. I would say absolutely amazing. I don't think I'm a glad one player, but I reckon I could do pretty well just if I played one class. But I can't, because I get bored, and if I end up funneling myself into one class, then I get a little bit miserable. I don't really want to play. I just want to go and play my warlock, or I just want to go and play like this, like my warrior. You know, I think I've released one video on my warrior because I'm not that good on it, and it just wouldn't be very entertaining. But ironically enough, arena-wise, this is the highest class I've ever got. I've done really well on my warrior. Well, for me. But this X pack, I just don't really like the playstyle. I know you probably tell me it's not much different. No, it's not the same for me. I think it was in MOP I played it a hell of a lot. So anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, and then I started getting itchy feet. I'm thinking, I really want to go and play Horde. And in those days, you couldn't transfer your characters. You couldn't faction change. Oh Christ, what do I do? I've got a level 60. I've got my rogue was nearly like level 60. Then I started playing my Shadow Priest. I started leveling a Shadow Priest. I thought, oh, this looks fun. Because if people remember, Shadow Priests weren't that great. They were okay in certain situations, but PvP wise, they were. I just fancy playing something different. To be honest, I don't really know why I wanted to play a Shadow Priest or a Priest even, because it did conspire to me playing, doing some healing as well. Yeah. So what happened was, I started playing my Shadow Priest or a Priest. And I think around this time, this was still in vanilla. Around this time,
You brought my reinforcements with you.
yeah, around this time they brought in the ranking system, right? So you start off at Grunt or whatever it was, Scout, Grunt I think, then Scout, then Sergeant, then Senior Sergeant. Then you could do Sergeant, Stone Guard, Blood Guard. Anyway, the ranking system went up to High Warlord. Yeah, so I started to get into that. I thought, right, everything else went out the window. I just wanted to PvP and rank. So I then got him to 60. Obviously, this was probably been my third character to 60 at this point, so it was getting easier. Because obviously you know where to go, what to do. So I got to 60, and I remember PvPing, rank PvP, and because I was PvPing so often, I started to get people asking me to join their groups, and I was getting quite good. And I remember seeing Nair in a battleground, and he basically one-shotted me. This is the rogue that I was talking about that did the videos, Feel the Pain videos, or whatever they're called. As I said, it's on YouTube now. And this is why this guy was a big inspiration to me, was because because he wasn't a complete. I think if he was a complete dick with me that day on my hunter when I was, he wanted me to trap that in Warsong. I think that would probably change my mind about him, but because he wasn't a dick about it, you know, at the end of the day, he just dropped the flag or whatever. He obviously thought, oh, you know, he's just a new player. And he was in the best guild on the server. I didn't understand this point, and it's a very valid point, I know now. And obviously, the fact that he was in the best guild on the server, he had all the best gear, right? So they were probably doing Molten Core and stuff like that, you know, picking up, I don't know, Perdition's Blade and stuff like that. So he that's probably why he was one-shotting me, right? Because I'm thinking, oh, you know, he's just amazing, this bloke. He used to come into a BG, right? And everyone would go, oh, Christ. Nair's here. I'll call him Nair for the sake of it, because that's what I've always called him. He's here. He's gonna one-shot us all. And pretty much did, you know. You'd be like, oh, my God. And I'm a clothy. I'm like a Shadow Priest, right? So it's like dinner time, you know. And so I'm thinking, oh, you know, and it kind of obviously, it's like when you find out Father Christmas, it doesn't exist, right? I'm sorry, kids, he doesn't. It was like that when I realised, oh, someone said to me, oh, you do realise why he's really good, right? And everyone's going, why is that? He's just a good player. But yeah, but he has got all the best gear, and he can one-shot you with that gear. And I'm like, oh. So he probably was still a good player, right? But obviously, at that point in time, you think, oh, that's why he's a good player, because he's just a good player. But it could transpire that he's just got all the gear. So anyway, following on from that, I started to get myself, because obviously this is only realm only PvP. I started to get quite a good reputation as being a good priest. So there was this guy called Dr. Ghetto. I remember his name, Dr. Ghetto. He was actually before him there was these two druids. One was called Moiki and one was called Derivazor or something like that. And they used to want me in their BGs all the time, but they wanted me to heal, right? They wanted me to heal, so they needed two. In those days, priests were the bollocks. They were the dog's bollocks on healing. And they wanted two priests with them all the time because they were going for rank 14. And being a noob, I was just there to learn, really. So there were two druids and they flag run. So it was all sort of class specific then. Healers were healing, druids were running flags. No one else did, you know. So we had like a pre-made. We had a 10-man pre-made, and we ran these every time I came on. Zenzul, do you want to join? You know, the pre-made. And in those days, it was accepted. That's what you did. You pre-made. If you wanted to get to rank 14, you had a pre-made team. So we did that. They got up to rank 14, and then of course when people, because if you've not heard what sort of grind it was, it took months and months and months and months. It took like 3 months of playing stupid hours, like 18 hours a day or whatever. It was really silly what you had to go through to get to rank 14. And so they got to rank 14, and of course burnt out, didn't want to do it anymore. You know, they were just interested to get themselves up to rank 14. And then I went with a guy called Dr. Ghetto. Went with a guy? That sounded wrong. No. Started playing with a guy called Dr. Ghetto. He was a mage. He was a good mage. And so we got up to rank 14 in him, and that was enough for me. I'd had enough by then. I got up to rank 10. So on my Shadow Priest, or as in Rasta now, my Shadow Priest, he got up to rank 10. So he got up to champion, which is quite good. I was quite happy with that. I didn't want to be general, so I just didn't. I think a champion sounds cool. Got up to rank 10, and around that time, I started to, and then I remember being in a BG. There was a guy on our server, and he was when I was playing my rogue. So I was Alliance, he was Horde, and he was a warlock called San Crotis, right? And if you know anything about my PvP videos and my warlock video, my warlock's called San Crotis. So that's where I got the name from, funny enough. And he was a really good warlock. He played an undead warlock, and he was a good player. And I always for a rogue, a warlock was always a bit of a pain. And I just remember playing him and thinking, oh, that's a really cool name. Right? So I then decided that, obviously in those days, because I was on the Saber server, I couldn't then call my warlock San Crotis, so I called him Sin Crotis, S-I-N Crotis. And I remember that. Anyway, years later, I went to a different server and called it San Crotis, and it's quite a unique name. So anyway, it's a homage to San Crotis, the original San Crotis who played. I don't think he plays anymore. So yeah, that was it. And then I started to play my warlock, and that's when everything kind of fell into place. So this is probably towards I'd say the end, coming towards the end of vanilla 1.10, 11, something like that. And when I started to play my warlock, that's when everything became clear, really, because I enjoyed playing my priest, but the thing is with priests in those days, people just wanted you to heal, and I was like, I just want to kill people, really. I quite enjoy killing people, only in the game, not in my real life. That wouldn't work. And so I started to really play it. I remember I remember doing low level PvP on my Warlock and really enjoying it. So you had the pets and stuff. Even now I can't really get on with the pets. It's just such a shame that you have to have one. But I do sometimes run without them. But yeah, they were okay. But they again, it was kind of like, I quite like the hunter for the pets. I didn't like the warlock so much for the pets, but obviously there was necessity, and it was good when you were out in the world and killing stuff, and you got the void walker and stuff. You know, it's less grief. Yeah, so I started PvP, and I started to get really quite good on my warlock. I really enjoyed. I liked the play style. I liked the tankiness of them, and even back then, you know, they were a strong class. Always good fun, and obviously, without a shadow of a doubt, and no one ever can deny this, they do have the best. They do have the best transmogs. Where's this horse? Oh. Well, there we go. No horse again. Huh. Well, there you go. That's the end of Volume 2. It finishes when Arthas doesn't drop the horse. This could run on for a long time. I'll be sitting there when I'm 85 going, yes, this is Volume 695,421. I remember. Actually, I don't remember fuck all anymore. Yeah. So anyway, it is what it is. I hope you enjoyed Volume 2. And next week we'll be talking further adventures of Zenzul, the very average PvP/PvE. Actually, quite a bit of... I've got some PvE stories too. I did some raiding, believe it or not. I know you look at me and think you ain't no raider. But yeah, I did some back in the day. And I'll definitely be coming on to that if that's more your thing. But until next time, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please leave a big thumbs up just down there. Give a like, a thumbs up, because what it does, if you like my stuff and you like supporting the channel, other people will get to see it. The more likes and comments I get, the more other people will get to see the stuff. So then we can get more people to enjoy the stuff, and the channel will grow. And organically, and everyone, and I mean everyone, will be happy, including me. So, and also, if you're not a subscriber, why not? Subscribe to the channel, it's all good. And if you are a subscriber, thank you from the bottom of my heart for subscribing and supporting the channel. It means a lot. Just leaves me to say, you have a great day, and I'll see you for Volume 3 next time. Bye-bye.